Thank you everybody for coming tonight. I know like everybody has really busy schedules, but it's a really fantastic topic that so many of us are experiencing and can benefit from. And everybody is seeking and searching for support to help with gut health, to help with brain fog and weight loss and all these amazing things. And there's so many options out there. What's real and what is helpful and what will be for sustainability. So I met Dr. Sara a couple years back, and I've followed her journey. We met in person. I don't know what was that, 2 years or so ago, through another practitioner, and there was something about her that drew me in, and I've followed her journey with her program, which is the she'll go into later, but um I'm grateful to be here and being able to share my experience and the benefits that I'm receiving. So, I'm a licensed massage therapist and I work holistically. I look at the whole being and what's happening in order to know how to support the body. And it's really, really been a long journey for my own health. And this seems to be like that final puzzle piece for me in order to feel like everything is in alignment. And I started working with Dr. Sara a couple months ago, and it's been game changer, life changing for me in just the couple of months. So I will turn it over to Dr. Sara and let her introduce herself as far as her background and all of the wonderful nuggets of wisdom that she's going to share with us regarding rebalancing the gut, healing the nervous system, and how that can impact us and empower us to take our health back into our own hands.
Thank you for that amazing introduction, Carrie. Yeah, welcome everybody. I am Sara Schaefer, and we are talking about rebalancing the gut and nervous system and how this relates to all kinds of things: weight loss, hormones, immune health. And I'm gut restoration expert. That's my practice. And I have a long history in gut health. I have a doctorate in nutrition. I've worked on research in metabolic science, specifically pertaining to gut health. I am also a certified kinesiologist and neurological integration systems practitioner. And I've built a kinesiology practice that specializes in resolving nervous system dysfunction, healing the gut, and just feeling good in our bodies. So, if that sounds good, if that's what you're here for, drop a 1 in that chat box. I wanna utilize the chat box. But a lot of my journey comes from a lot of my experience is firsthand. It's not just the books and the research and the science. It's, my firsthand experience going through nervous system dysregulation, gut health crisis, and just autoimmunity and immune function breakdown, and figured out how to, heal it naturally. Went down all the avenues of functional medicine and Western whatever you do to try to heal from that. And learning to work with the nervous system has been fascinating. I've learned all kinds of stuff. And we listen to how the body speaks. And so I'll often talk about what the body says and how do we decode the signals from the body. And all of that is in the nervous system, all of that information. So when it comes to you and how you can heal from whatever's going on or optimize if that's your goal, well, how to do that is within your body, within your cells, within your nervous system. So that is the nature of my work. And so, what I'll talk about really quickly, I'm going to just go through a little nuts and bolts of how it works. Thanks, Stacy. Yeah, I do speak body. It's because body speaks the language of energy and frequency, as it turns out. Like we're just translating energy. So I have some slides I want to. So I have a core framework that I've built around like my practice and gut restoration expert and my coaching program that Carrie's mentioned. My core framework is that a dysregulated nervous system often starts in the gut, through several ways. It can be the foods that we eat. and how we digest them, and that can either cause inflammation or trigger stress somehow, or it can trigger calm. It can balance us out. And also, there's the microbiome. So, do you guys know what the microbiome is? Yes, no, it's the bacteria in your gut, the bugs in your gut, the probiotics, the healthy bacteria. And those are in the lower part of our digestive tract, and gut bacteria do so much to regulate our immune system, our brain, the brain gut connection, our nervous system, um, our digestion. So our microbiome actually makes many of the same chemicals that our brain uses for mood and for focus. So that's another way if the microbiome gets imbalanced and you have too many bad bacteria or too many other kinds of microbes, those include like fungus and candida and parasites and those kinds of things, that can shift the microbiome and how it operates and the messages that it's sending. And then also we have this thing called the vagus nerve. It's really the what we're often referring to in the gut-brain connection. It's a big part of it. It has to do with our ability to be in the state of rest and digest. And if we're not rested and calm and balanced when we're eating, we're really not digesting our food. We're really not absorbing our nutrients. So that's a key part of all of this. Because if we can't absorb nutrients, it all falls apart. And the vagus nerve is like a highway from the gut to the brain. Most of the information actually goes from the gut to the brain, not the brain to the gut. And so, and then there's when we get stressed and we're, experiencing fight or flight a lot throughout the day, I mean, stress just regulates the gut in general. And a dysregulated gut keeps the nervous system in fight or flight. So it's a feedback loop. And the gut imbalances will keep that stress response turned on. So, what we want to do tonight is walk you through how you can start breaking that loop and really balance all of these systems in some simple, very easy, doable ways. Now, really quickly to kind of connect in with, why you're here, I want to go over like how this might be showing up for you if like you have a dysregulated gut or nervous system or all this, what does this really mean? Does the I you are here because something feels off. Maybe you want to lose weight, maybe you want to balance your hormones, maybe you want to decrease inflammation, maybe you just want to feel better and you're not sure what's wrong. There are three patterns that I see in my clients in general that this dysregulation shows up. So you might feel like your energy's all over the place. If your adrenals are depleted, you might feel they refer to this as feeling tired and wired at the same time. You're like exhausted all day, but then you can't sleep at night. Things are just off. You just need coffee to function all day long. I used to be in this and I would go to bed excited about getting coffee in the morning. And you kind of rely on maybe sugar or cravings like the energy to pick you up. And you can get stuck belly weight this way. This is how, it can be stuck when your stress hormones and your cortisol and your blood sugar are all over the place. It will definitely keep weight on because it may not have enough energy. And it's just like your body can't lose weight from a place of stress. Like if it's stressed, your body, that's sending the message to your body, um, stressed or tired, that I gotta like keep weight on. I gotta like, I don't know what's coming. So I'm just gonna hold on to this excess. And that's how we've adapted. So I'm going to go over three patterns. If you hear something that describes you or feels like that might be your pattern, and maybe we have a couple different patterns going on, we might have all or many of these. So that was pattern one, adrenals. Go ahead and drop one if you feel like that might be you. You guys are so sweet, Stacy. Yes, Stacy is also working with us. So glad you're here as well. So the second pattern, it is about the nervous system. It is connected to the vagus nerve, but it's your stomach is sort of like not relaxing. You feel like you can't digest your stomach. It's in knots, maybe, um, and you can feel stress more in your gut than in your head. You might feel fine, but your your gut is telling you otherwise. And it can lead to anxiety as well. Nausea or nervous system's just triggering a lot. You might be urinating a lot too. So, you're just this is another difficult thing to navigate because what is going on? Um, and I've had a lot of clients just like their stomach feels like it's frozen and food is coming back up. So it's quite a perplexing. So if you've had that, and this is a lot of bloating, like a lot of bloating might be in this pattern as well, and that might be the only symptom. So if you've experienced that, go ahead and drop a 2. Thanks, thanks, Carrie, for following up with it in the chat with that. And then pattern 3 is connected to the lymphatic system and the gut lining and damage to the gut lining and you might be experiencing like just constant fatigue and foggy and flat, and you're just dragging. And you don't know what's wrong. You feel unmotivated. You're irritable, even, and weight feels like it's like you can't lose it. You feel like a balloon, and it feels like weight, but often it's just water weight, honestly, because it's stuck lymphatic. So this is poor detoxification and we might mistake this for weight and but it's about water balance and it definitely connects back to the gut and definitely will block absorption of nutrients into the body and it becomes a very vicious cycle like that feedback loop because it's how do you get out of that, it's if you're stuck and inflamed. um, you need nutrients to move those systems. Well, how can you absorb nutrients if your gut is inflamed and not absorbing nutrients as a consequence? So, those are the 3 common patterns. And I've experienced them all, and I've experienced a lot of confusion when you go and you try to find answers to what's going on. It could be because the symptoms are all over the place, and we don't have a lot of good answers for how to regulate this stuff. It can be a very confusing place to be. So I have created a 3-phase framework, the 3 phases to balance in the body, the 3 sort of steps that you can take to break this loop and resolve the dysregulation. I call it the 3D gut reset method. So the big 3 dimensions of resetting not just the gut, but the whole body. Detoxification, digestion, and deeper regulation. And it's just really getting into the depth of what's going on in the nervous system. Because sometimes this freeze we can get in is deep. It can be trauma stored in the body. It can be emotions that are at a layer that we're just not ready to unlock. And my work really goes through and gets your body to navigate and let and unlock these doors at the rate that's comfortable and safe because we don't want to stress out the body any more than it already is. So, this is my free ebook. You can go ahead and download if you want. Scan the code just right there. It'll give you a minute to do that. You can just open up the camera on your phone like you're scanning a menu at a restaurant and just scan the code right there. Or you can take a picture and scan it later. Or you can go to my website at gutrestorationexpert.com and grab it there. And it'll walk you through the concept to heal your whole body and optimize your health. And it's working on those 3 dimensions together. Everyone has a different starting point. Everyone's journey is different. So I have some tools that you can use along the way. But Over the years and through the decades of researching nutrition and navigating my own gut health and immune health crisis and building a different kind of practice, I've discovered a whole toolkit that focuses on energy and the nervous system to guide the body back to health. And it's undeniable that when we remove toxins, when we restore the gut lining and essential barriers in the body, a few powerful things happen naturally. You can actually absorb the food you're eating. If you're snacking and craving a lot, then if you're feeling unsatisfied, it's a sign that you're not getting what you need. When your body gets the nutrients that it needs, your body can regulate weight without thinking about it. Your hormones can balance naturally because inflammation and stress signals need to go down. So even if you're feeling calm, if you're eating inflammatory food, that's still sending stress signals. And your immune system has to become less reactive. All of these things have to happen. So I guide people through all of this. In my coaching container, we start off using high quality nourishment in the form of regeneratively grown superfoods to facilitate this. What does it do exactly? It gets us out of stress and inflammation by repairing the essential gut barrier, healing the leaky gut. If we're going to do anything like lose weight, balance our hormones, we have to get out of inflammation. I've studied nutrition a long time. I've spent a lot of time in product aisles and product formulation work. I did a lot of that. I've done a lot of research around what's out there. And 3 or 4 years ago at this point, I've been using these regeneratively grown superfoods and transformational in doing those things, healing the gut, charging up the cells, so that we can start to bring all this stuff back into balance. So I think I'm going to pass it over to Carrie. And we could maybe pause for questions. If anyone has questions, feel free to drop it in the chat.
And we can come off mute at the end with question and answer too. So don't feel like you won't have a voice here. We just want to make sure we provide you what you came here for in the in the beginning of it all, and then be able to answer any of your questions specifically. Um, I know I can talk a lot because I get so excited about this stuff, and I don't want to take up everybody's time tonight either. But my personal experience. So, because in the 15, no, 17 years that I've been on a health journey for myself in so many different ways, um, a little bit of backstory. When I was younger, I had a lot of ailments that I'd have to go to the doctor for. They thought it was kidney stones. They thought it was this. They thought it was um, that. And there was migraines and there was sickness. I would eat foods and it would either go through me very quickly or I would get the shakes and I would get nauseous and I would feel very lightheaded. There was a lot of different things that were taking place. um, Fast forward through all of that, when I was pregnant with my first son, who is now 23, 6 months in, I ended up in the hospital. I was really in a lot of pain. And they did some testing and they said, well, your gallbladder looks a little inflamed, but you're 6 months pregnant. There's not much we can do for you right now. We'll just have to tame it and kind of watch it. And then when he was 5 months pregnant, I'd come back home to visit from California with him, and I had landed in the hospital with emergency removal of my gallbladder, and it was starting to lean into the pancreas. So there was a lot of recovery that I needed to do. And because I've had a lot of family members who were sick, I've jumped into some of these holistic approaches and deep dived some stuff for them because I'm a research nerd and I love that and I proudly admit to that. And I'm fascinated by the way the body works. I'm fascinated by health and wellness, the good, the bad, the uglies. And when I have gone to different doctors and they kind of failed me, and I'm not going to go into any of that, there is times, there's place. But when we take a step back and we learn about what we've been shown and taught over the years and how the foods have changed and the pyramid aspects have changed, it brought me into this space. So, as far as massage and lymphatics, I do manual lymph drainage, oncology massage, and integrative massage. I've worked with aromatherapy. I've taught workshops and this and that. And a lot of the feedback from those around me were, I'm doing all the right things. Why am I not losing weight? Why am I still feeling inflamed? Why am I still swollen? Why am I still having achy joints? Why do I still have brain fog? Why do I still have? The list went on and on. But I'm doing all the right things. I'm eating the right foods. I'm taking the minerals. I'm taking the nutrients. I am moving my body, even coming from manual limb drainage. There's a lot that goes into it. And I am learning so much through Sara's program because she is like the one-stop shop, is what I call you. I know that's not very creative, Sara, but I've gone to different practitioners and I was finding myself spread out, all of them fantastic, all of them providing a value. But when the body is in so many different layers and levels of need, you can spend a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of effort in trying to find the alignment. And another thing that was very empowering for me is knowing how my body functions and expressing that to other practitioners. And they were just providing me, here's another supplement for you, here's another herb for you, they're going to help you. And then if there's multiple practitioners, they're providing multiples of these and a lot of money. And when I've been following Sara and she just covers all of those layers, and I said, what am I doing? She can provide all of those factors for me in one space under one element. And learning so much from the program, because there's a learning platform with modules and education, and there are labs for practicing and receiving and doing different practices. Learning that the way that we have been taught about the body functioning, learning about all the different types of food that we have been misinformed over, learning about how our foods are diminished of minerals and nutrients, doing all of the self-care practices, the breath work, the movement, the exercise, taking all of the correct foods, hydrating properly, and it still was not moving the meter for me the way that I needed it to and wanted it to. And how it was a game changer for me is understanding the body at the foundational level. So for those that are visual, my body might have been in a good shape, right? But at the same time, if the gut, which I knew the gut was leaking because of the inflammation, and I expressed to Sara that my lymphatic system, as much as I did for it and supported it, there was still something that wasn't moving and making sense. And then she educated me. You take a fishbowl that's a little mucky and you keep adding clean water to it, and it still stays mucky until you drain that fishbowl out and you clean it up and you start from building it from the foundation. I see you over there dancing, Monica. And you build it from the foundation with all the healthy things that it needs, and you provide it everything that it needs. Then it stays in a clean fishbowl and that fish can thrive. And that is what it's about, is getting to the root and the foundation and building it from there. So when I began the program, the fruits and the vegetables, the super powerful nutrients of the shakes that I was drinking, and very few supplements. And in previous times of using products and doing all the trendy diets and the plans and the shakes, and it was always, here, have another, here, have another, here, you need this too. And we really didn't necessarily need that. And other programs that I've tried and other shake brands that I've tried, and I've tried a lot of them, they would work for maybe a week or two, And then I just continued to feel not well. And the difference when I take labels from other companies and I take the label with the products that we use, the ingredients in the shakes is all real food ingredients. It's herbs, it's vegetables, it's fruits. Even if there's supportive measures, they're all organic and pure. There's not maybe two things that I can't pronounce on the ingredient list, and that's just because I'm terrible at pronouncing things, but they're legitimate ingredients. Nothing of hydrogenation or palm oils or any of those types of things, no fillers. And within days, I could tell a difference in the vitality of how I felt. And I'm like, oh, it's going to be it's all in my brain. It's all in my, because we're taught that it's all in our mind. And then within weeks, I've had clients say, wow, like, what are you doing differently because you have this glow to you? The face goes down, the inflammation goes down. And then there was aha moments because I do mobile massage as well. And months ago, I was like, I don't know how much longer I can hold this mobile aspect of my business because I was feeling weaker. I wasn't able to like get up the stairs and carry my bag because it's a big, heavy bag. And just within the last month or so, and I was doing mobiles, and it was an aha moment because my strength, like I can just continue to list all of the benefits of what I'm receiving. And it's going to sound like it's too good to be true, but it's not because I'm living it. My family is noticing the difference because I am grounded and my nervous system is regulated. I was doing all the things to help regulate myself, and it would be temporary. I was doing all the self-care. It was temporary. And it wasn't until I started to heal that gut and nourish my body and everything else, it started to just bubble up with beautiful benefits. I sleep through the night. There's no more 3 a.m. in the morning waking up and then the brain starts turning. I wake up and I get up in the morning with energy. I'm not sluggish. I'm not foggy brained in the morning. I don't need my coffee, but I love my coffee. So I do drink that after I have my lemon water. And because of my busy lifestyle, I do love the shakes because they make my easy morning and they make my easy afternoon and they're quick on the go because I'm always on the go. And I food prep. And I have boys in my household who want to eat a lot of food. So I have a husband who is traveling all the time on the road. He's not very healthy. He needs support. My youngest is having some health scenarios that all the tests that we have been doing in the last month are coming back to the foundation. He's been sick most of his life. He's been in and out of doctors. He's been on medications. He, came from a body that was not healthy. So that impacted him as a baby coming out of the hospital. He was back in and out of the hospital, and he had food allergies and he had all these other things. And all that I'm learning is showing me that my system, because of medications from younger years, needed the added support. Having the gallbladder issues for years, it was 20 years undiagnosed before it was an emergency removal. I had to repair everything. And although I thought I was doing that, and I was, it was not to the depth that this program has brought me. And I think I'm 3 months in, Sara? And my husband sees a difference, and that's big. My kids notice a difference. We've had a lot of heavy stressors that we've been facing the last 2.5 months. And because I am feeling so incredibly good and regulated, okay, what do we got to do? What's the plan? What's the problem? Here's a resolution. Because I'm regulated and I can think clearly, I feel good. And when that nervous system is triggered because of all these other ailments of inflammation and not getting nourishment and not getting the nutrients and not getting the sleep and everything else, there's that constant ping of the nervous system that puts us on edge. We can't think clearly. We can't make proper decisions. We can't hear and feel and listen to our own intuitions. And my clients and my friends are seeing me and they're like, wow, you've lost weight, haven't you? And I'm like, the scale has only moved 3 pounds, but the contour of the body is changing. And I'm forever grateful because I hope I'm not rambling, but I'm going into my busier season where I have multiple businesses. And come the fall, I usually become very dysregulated. And through the winter is the negative impact for me. And when I approached Sara, I said, Sara, I can't have this happen again. I need to feel good. I need to lose weight. I need to get regulated. Please help me. And I made the decision to put it first. We have lots of choices, right? We choose different things in our life. And this became my focus. And I knew that if I did not do what I needed to do to heal me, I could not help my children and my husband and my family and my clients the way that I needed to. And it starts within us. We hear that all the time, right? We can't pour from an empty cup. Put your own life vest on and your own life mask on. And I was doing all of the things that I was preaching to my clients and my family, but it was this that was missing. And so, like Sarah, I'm so forever grateful that we met through Dr. Kevin and all those years ago, and that like you just continued to show up in my feed and we made that connection. And then she helped my family, my sister, and she helped another close friend of mine. And that was solid for me because they were both going through something extreme, that they were getting help from others, and it was only getting them so far. And that's another confirmation that the regenerative health, getting to the mitochondria and regenerating that so that it can empower everything else to work. So I said, okay, I'm jumping on. I'm on there. And then I, have shared it with Stacy and a couple other friends who are benefiting from it for all different reasons, not just perimenopause, not just autoimmune, not just recovering from, rebuilding the body after chemo and whatnot, all different reasons because it's the foundation. So now my youngest, I'll share a little bit and he would be okay with that. He's been having a lot of mental health issues and a lot of stressors and a lot of physical body symptoms. And Sara, I've been sharing the products, dribbling products to my kids over the last couple of months. And there is the neurodivergency divergence that he has tested for. And he's ready to hop on board too because he obsesses over health and wellness. And he knows too that the gut is the empowerer for the brain and these physical symptoms. And so my husband sees this and he's like, all right, I'm ready. He's got a lot of health issues and he's avoided them. And he's jumping on board because he's seeing the difference. And I could cry because it's really helping in so many ways. And we have not been provided those tools and that message and the education that you're providing us. We haven't been provided that in society the way that we need to. And in such an easy way, you explain things so easy and simplified for us to understand it. And I'm so, so grateful. So thank you for listening to me and babble on about how grateful I am and all of the benefits and changes that have been made in just 3 months.
Yeah,
So
and
thank you.
thank you for plugging the heck out of my program. And I will thanks for showing up because it requires showing up and being open to all of this. So thank you. And we're going to show you guys real quick what we're talking about and why this works. Where, I've tried a lot of things to heal my body, and through the same approach, but it was something about these specific formulations that made a huge difference, and I don't see being done anywhere else. And I'm just gonna go over a few, um, easy things. Oh my gosh, comic relief. This is probably the cringiest slide I've ever made. What's happening here, though? Um, I let Canva do its thing and AI, and I'm obsessed with, like, trying to portray the healthy flora of the gut, which is I like flowers. Once your gut is balanced and blooming with healthy flora, microflora, your health is optimized. You can heal, everything can regulate. So that is key. And that has to do with the two things to get our gut microbiome balanced. Two main inputs are healthy, nutrient rich soil and healthy, nutrient rich food. And we're getting neither of those. And so that's why there's so much dysregulation because those key inputs we're missing out. Our food is modified, and the use of pesticides in modern agriculture has really stripped our soil from what it needs, the healthy bacteria and the nutrients to grow healthy food that can deliver nutrients to our body in the proportions that we need to live and heal and repair. And so these two are very connected. And Purium, because their foods are the highest quality nutrition I've ever experienced for several reasons. They're grown in nutrient-rich soils. They use regenerative agriculture practices to grow their food, and that produces high quality plants and foods. It's plant-based. The foods are harvested in the perfect way to preserve natural enzymes. So like it's raw living food essentially. So it's really high quality in that way. So it feels different, but it also has no additives or fillers or binders or anything like that. Heavy metals, that's a huge problem when it comes to some of these concentrated superfoods. Um, you can get heavy metals in concentrated amounts as well. And so you have to look into who's growing and where the soil is and is it being tested. And so Purium does all of this, and that's just the beginning of why it's so good. But it also really, really works. And when it comes to regenerative and that word and that being a solution, regeneration, well, by restoring the soil, we can restore our food system and restore our gut health. Purium products are designed to detox glyphosate better than any other product I've seen out there. Glyphosate destroys the gut lining, creates leaky gut, destroys microbiome, healthy bacteria in our gut. If that's it, it works as an antibiotic. So it'll wipe out the healthy bacteria in the soil, in the gut, and that will throw off all of it. That's just one thing that is added to our food system. So Purium is really innovative. They have some great products. If whoever invited you here, me, Carrie, or Stacy, they can follow up with you and guide you in what products. This is Purium does not require a subscription. It doesn't require um like a brand partner or affiliate or anything like that. There's options, but you can just go shop like a normal store. But one of their best products, I think this is the best product out there in the nutrition market, is their shakes, specifically their power shakes. These are probably their most pricey items, but these are things that you can do to get your daily nutrition. It's like super versatile. You just mix it with water or whatever else you want, powder and water, and you have a fresh delicious shake. And you can throw fruit and it's just super versatile. You can have it on the go, but you get all your daily nutrients. You get the detoxification and the energy. And these are the nutrients that help break through that inflammation. that we're talking about. Another great product is amino acids. These are breakthrough amino acids. I got them right here. They work because they're super absorbable. They don't need to get broken down. Amino acids are the building blocks of peptides. So lots of peptide crazes going on these days. There might be an issue with our amino acid supply. So when we take these and we just supply, like these are pre-digested, so they get absorbed into the bloodstream within 23 minutes, it saves the body from having to break down protein from animal sources or whatever. When it does that, like that amount of protein it actually gets, it's like 30% utilized. This is 99% utilized. So it's just amino acids right into your body to do whatever you want. So when people take this, they notice the body tones, skin gets radiant and strong and less wrinkly. This is the body making peptides because it can, because it has amino acids to do what it needs to do. The immune system is more regulated. So you're just putting in essential key building blocks. There's also issues with the way our glyphosate has interfered with our ability to use amino acids from food. So there's a lot of issues going on with our agriculture and our food system that Purium addresses through their formulations and through their products and their high quality. This is also like a really powerful product to repair the gut. Is really great biomedic for healing the leaky gut and balancing the bacteria. I would tend to use that in the context of one of the packs, and they have different packs. So anyway, you guys can ask questions.
Can I chime in for one moment on the aminos? And I
Yeah.
think it's really powerful for Stacey also to maybe share her experience because of the longevity and of what she's experienced, and then bringing Purium into her life. I find your story fascinating too, Stacey, and Monica also. But the aminos have been a game changer for me with the laborious aspect of my job. And when I didn't recognize it until I lifted my heavy 40-pound bag and whatever upstairs, but my chiropractor asked me, "What are you doing differently? Because your muscle tone is completely different. It's really healthy." And I'm like, now, being a massage therapist, I can feel the difference in muscle tones too, but it didn't trigger for me right away. And he's like, "Are you working out?" I haven't even started lifting weights yet, which is my next step now that I'm feeling stronger and I'm healthier and I have more energy. But I wasn't. I said, the only thing that I've introduced is the nutrition plan as well as the super aminos, which was a testimony for me and another confirmation of it was providing my body what was necessary for the strength in my muscles, the tone, the repair. And he noticed it from just manipulating my body. And that was huge to me. Um, Sorry, do you mind if Stacy, would you want to?
Yeah, and while Stacy shares, I'm gonna put up another slide, that shows you, like, where you can I didn't put Stacy's gift code because I forgot on here, but you can let us know what your gift code is. But this, you can go to ishoppurium.com and check it out, and they have a May sale right now, so get on it. But Stacy, yeah, feel free to share, your experience. Oh,
I just put my code in the chat.
nice. Yeah, vibrations for the soul.
Yeah. And I don't know if it's capital V or not. Sorry. It might be.
I don't think it matters.
Okay. I don't know. I feel like I have so much to share and it's a journey and it's still a journey, but I've been doing this for 2 months. I've spent like 10 years having food intolerances, severe food intolerances. And there's just a gamut of like health issues I have. And I would always say to people, I'm not really, really sick, but I'm not really well. Like I just have a lot of chronic stuff. I have bladder issues. I've always had stomach issues and just a lot of other stuff. But when I first started with Sarah, And Sarah's been really, really good with me because I don't have the typical body. Like, I really struggled a little bit starting some of this. And even like the shakes, like I'm intolerant to grains. And she put me on the power green and I was like, "Oh, I'm nervous. Are you sure? Because there's grains in it." Um, and it took me a while, like it took me a couple weeks, right, for my body to start accepting it. And we went really slow and like every step of the way she was there helping me. And and I was able to like push through a few things and I'm in a good place and it keeps changing. But yeah, like I'm doing really well and I notice I feel like my skin looks different. Um and I'm starting to work on some emotional stuff too. Like the emotional stuff is coming up in layers and I guess it's all connected, but I don't know.
Yeah, like you start to detox, you release some deeper stuff so it can really be going through and getting this nutrition into our body. We actually have the ability to start releasing stuck waste, stuck emotions. Um, so that's a great sign. Better out than in, but it can come up. And so that's why the coaching program is really good because like where you can go buy these foods and start using them. I recommend it. But the coaching program uses these foods to guide you through that 3D digestion, detoxification, and deeper regulation. So it's the gut mastery is the program that they're referring to. And I designed it for people who have tried everything in the realm of gut health, immune health. There's a lot of unmet needs in those areas, hormones as well. And I went through nightmares trying to figure out what was wrong with me. And through the different things that I've learned, I've been able to recover. But I was at the point where I could eat about 5 foods, and I was there for years. I had SIBO, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. It's really difficult, but I haven't had it in years. And these foods are part of that. And the detoxification that I've done has been key. So if this is you feeling overwhelmed with like all these options, supplements, diets, whatever products, it's wild out there. So these foods, and this is like their transformation packs. So these work to really transform things at a deep level. And I teach you all about it in Gut Mastery if that's for you. My program uses them and use the nervous system to guide your body out of autoimmunity, difficult hormone shifts, or just something else that's stuck, whatever is stuck. So if any of this sounds good, we can talk more about gut mastery. If you want to buy some Purium products today and whoever invited you here, they'll reach out. But if you are interested in my coaching, I am doing a free coaching container in 2 weeks. And it's called Get Your Spark Back, and it's designed to boost energy production in the body, in the adrenals, in the cells, um, because your body needs energy to do anything. And so sometimes that could be the stuck point. So this is a reboot for a lot of the different systems, and I take you through this challenge, focusing on a lesson each day and personalize to you what you can do in your life to make those changes to get that energy sparked up. So it's a 5-day challenge. It's a free coaching call every day at noon Eastern. So if you want to scan the QR code, or you can also sign up at my website, you can jump in that. And if you do sign up, we will schedule a free consultation, and that'll be great to just talk and connect this week or before the challenge starts on the 15th about what's going on with you and what your goals are and how we can tailor this challenge to you to get the most out of it. I'll give you personal tips on that call. At the end of this, some of my challenges have resolved issues people have been struggling with for years. I do 2 challenges. My Flesh It Out challenge gets the detox pathways activated, and that's helped people resolve SIBO and a lot of gut issues and a lot of things just by opening up the channels. So, um, these are great things to do, and then at the end, if you wanna go deeper, it's a great opportunity to jump into gut mastery at that point. You'll learn more about me and my story and how I work and what this content is all about. So if you guys are interested in the challenge, highly recommend it. Comment yes. And so does anyone else have questions? We should just take everyone off mute and you guys can ask questions or you can just drop them in the chat.
Yeah. I did give them a heads up if they had questions, bring them. If you're comfortable enough and you want to ask in the group, that's great. If not, you can always reach out to Sarah and ask her through like a discovery call
Mm.
direct so if it's more personal.
And Karen's here too. She's been using lots of Purium products and all the transformation packs as well. I just want to shout out
Yes.
to Karen.
So I'm listening, and I guess I'm trying to put together some pieces that just try to understand the framework. So in all cases with gut restoration, does it always involve dysregulation of the HPA? Is that what we're saying? Or is
No,
that
no,
separate? No, that's not necessarily in all cases.
no, that's more like the adrenals and maybe sometimes the vagus nerve
Right.
of
Okay.
those three
It
general.
could be one of the parts, but it's not directly to the gut inflammation and the lining.
These are interesting sets of symptoms. They can be a little of like we can have different and she was asking about the HPA axis, which has to do with the adrenals, the and then the brain and the body.
Stress response. No.
Yeah, stress response, and it has to do with a lot of hormone regulation and hormone balance as well. And so that when you're centered and are producing energy, you tend to be in rest and digest more naturally. So that does tie into the vagus nerve. But when you're talking about and so those type of 1 and 2 we see together a lot, the vagus nerve and the adrenals. But then leaky gut and inflammation, that can be more IBS.
Okay.
And then IBS can come from like an infection. It can come from poor nervous system, poor vagus nerve tone. It can come from poor adrenal energy as well. So they're all interrelated. And you can have your symptoms can be all over the place. So um but yeah,
Okay.
I definitely see those types. And women in their 40s and 50s are always needing adrenal support. It's key. And so that brain balance, the HPA axis tends to be one of the things that gets into regulation and then allows hormones to come back into balance.
So
Uh,
that was just one of your three patterns that you said that you saw, the HPA with
yeah.
the adrenal. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I can give examples all day long. Another common one, I mean, is liver congestion. And that being the main thing that we need to focus on if we're going to balance our hormones. Um,
Okay.
and eliminate waste properly. So it's individual, really. Like, we're never gonna really work on one of those types or necessarily concern myself with figuring out which type are you. Those are just kind of patterns I see. Uh,
Okay.
you're as you know, the system always tells me what it needs through the kinesiology and the frequency work. Any questions on issues around hormones or metabolism or menopause or immune health, autoimmunity?
Um, I think the question that I would have with, I mean, just again, I'm trying to think more broadly about, okay, categories of problems, those who have methylation problems. Um, so how is that different, or how do the patterns fit in, and what else needs to be done in support? Um, is
Methylation, okay, that's a good I'll just talk through it, but I would probably say 1, because methylation I could be any of them, honestly. Methylation, it could be any of those 3 patterns, and here's why.
okay.
Methylation is a refers to it's a cellular process and it's the body's ability to detox waste. So the cell's ability to get waste out of the body's ability essentially to get waste out. That's methylation. So it's a genetic, I think we call it a pattern, a genetic pattern. And the way I work with genetic patterns is we modify them. We turn genes on, we turn them off based on our environment. So that's where the nutrition is key in getting good nutrients and balanced pH in there. But the body cannot eliminate waste properly. That built up waste can cause dysregulation in any of the organs that it decides to settle in. So the signals are getting mixed up, and that just depends on the person's genetics. So there's a lot of factors, but methylation can lead to hormone imbalance, mood imbalance, and fatigue. Any of these autoimmune conditions are predisposed when you have methylation issues. So anything can go wrong in the body if you have methylation issues. And it's easily resolved by proper nutrition. It has to do with the liver because those detox pathways happen in the liver. And nutrition can turn everything around, getting the right nutrients in. But we can correct methylation patterns with enough of this approach consistently. Good question.
Jamie, did you have a question for me?
You know what? Yes. I was going to ask, like, how is it that I have, I mean, a lot of us have described how a lot of the symptoms, they overlap. And I've been working with a functional medicine doctor, and you mentioned the genetic testing. I've gotten genetic testing done, and there's so much overlap of symptoms of things happening. So how do you work to figure out where to start? 'Cause I feel like I have some thyroid and IBS gut and brain inflammation. And so I guess I really just want to know, how does your container, or how do you work in coaching that,
So
or is this something we could talk privately, really?
yeah, register for the challenge and the challenge would be great for you to start to work through some of these things and we can get on the call and personalize exactly what's going on. But to answer the question, because there's an answer to it, nutrition. We have to really start
Mm,
getting the right things into the body. And we go through different phases of what happens when we consistently provide those things. Um,
mhm.
the body can, and the first job is getting out of inflammation and healing the gut. And then once that happens, the immune system comes back online to then regulate, what it needs to do. Does it need to detox the thyroid? Does it need to it has an intelligence and it's going to go do what it needs to do in the order that it needs given the energy that it has. And that's kind of what we can guide also and open up and facilitate. So it's hard to know the starting point because when you go to functional medicine, like you get your labs done and then they just kind of throw a bunch of supplements at you. I mean, I've done that, trust me, and I understand a lot of that approach, and they do work with a lot of the, methylation pathways, but it's sort of just another dependency, and we wanna correct the issues. I think anything can be corrected because the beauty is we're asked, like in gut mastery, in that container, but that is like a 6-month or a year-long container, we're correcting these deep issues. We're restoring the cells from the core. So people that are recovering from all kinds of stuff, it can be or any goal in life can benefit from gut mastery. I designed it for the people, up a creek, their bodies are completely falling apart and they are not getting answers. But as it turns out, the formula is the same, whether your goal is to heal from complete chaos or optimize and feel completely balanced and vibrant and optimal weight.
Could I add to that a little bit, Sarah, as a participant? So in the gut mastery, it may be a group setting, but Jamie, to add a little bit to that, you get an individualized session with Sarah and her kinesiology and the what's it called? Neuro systems.
Neural integration system. That's the real sauce.
That's where she's able to help you, like the onion, peel back the layers. And when Stacy called her the body talker, she's the body whisperer. Your body will have a conversation with what Sara does through kinesiology and neuro. And correct me if I'm wrong, Sara, but just to kind of like simplify what you do, your body sends her messages that she can read through kinesiology and the neuro info systems. I have to get what that is down. To determine what you need specifically, that's calling out first. It's saying, hey, this is the most important aspect. The nutrition and the nourishment and the products are foundational, but your session with her will say, this is what is happening first and foremost that needs to be taken care of. So your testing provides you the visuals, but her body whispering communicates with your system to determine, here's where we're going to start. And we're going to provide it all the nourishment and the vitality to support you through all of those shifts. And then the peel comes off. And then you do another. She determines, okay, what's the next thing that's calling to, that's saying, hey, here I am. I need to be helped. Is that right, Sara? That's
Yeah.
how I receive it.
Let me give an example of, because I trained in neurological integration system after receiving it from my kinesiologist. She was trained in it. I was going to see somebody for my gut dysregulation. And I had spent maybe $10,000 on that journey of SIBO, on diet and supplements and all the things. And every time I'd do something within a month, my symptoms would be back. And she did a little thing, tapped on my head, and my ileocecal valve, which is a little like doorway in the gut that keeps bacteria specific to where it's supposed to be, that was just open. The door was open. And so no amount of supplements I was going to take was going to resolve the issue. I didn't need surgery, which is what a Western doctor would have done. She facilitated through my nervous system to get my brain to deliver the precise correction, which shut a mechanical process in my gut. It was wild to me that was possible, so I immediately trained in it, and so that's part of the corrections that we can deliver. So I do all kinds of things in the one-on-one. Your body guides the plan. The the body knows the plan, we just show up. And so we can correct these sort of mechanical issues, these emotional issues, that are keeping, like, sometimes emotions that are deep will keep our nervous system sort of teed up in a way that we're not privy to. We don't understand that's happening. But through these consistent monthly sessions that you get in gut mastery, as well as the consistent nutrients, keeping you out of inflammation and allowing your body to detox, your system guides you back to where it's supposed to be optimal, which is in balance. Monica's had her little digital hand up.
I've been through your program, and I got to a point when I was sick. That's when I started your program. That was just plateaued. And your program has transformed my life, and the way I think about things too. Um, Now I'm going through perimenopause, and I think that's what started a lot of that problem that I had. My question is for men. So Craig's testosterone level is lower, and we've thought about doing testosterone injections, to treatments, replacement, to help increase that. Is there something that you could recommend for men to help do this? Because it's helped with our hormones, my hormones, and stuff.
Yeah, it'll be that same lovely organ that we know.
Liver.
Yes. And I'll just say, when it comes to hormones, but also when it comes to blood sugar, when it comes to thyroid, when it comes to heart and circulation when it comes to, oh, there's many more. It's all liver. It's
Yeah.
all liver. The medical system, I don't know what's happening, but um, they're medicating you for all these conditions that if we take care of the liver, which happens to be the most regenerative organ in the body, if you cut the liver in half, it grows back in 2 months.
Yeah.
So if we take care of that puppy, we'll be happy with our hormone. We'll feel good. And because the liver processes the hormones. So what that looks like for females is that if the liver can process and excrete hormones, it sends the messages to the body to make more hormones if you
Hmm.
have them circling. So the liver and then the lymphatic system. And so what practical does that look like? He could start with maybe a shake. We could talk more about it, but I think like has he had any of the curium shakes?
I've started doing that again because of doing the parasite cleanse with Carrie. So I bought a lot of that. So I'm gonna start having him do the shakes with me again because he likes them too. So
Yeah, good. And even think about a potential parasite cleanse could be beneficial because that will free up a lot of energy. Because I think he's just looking for energy, right?
yeah, basically totally energy because when he doesn't have the energy, he doesn't want to do anything, and then he gets blues. We're good in the other areas. He said we're good in the other areas.
Yeah, energy. Well, get some nutrients in ya. Maybe
Okay,
a shake might be a good way to go. Um, and then if I think of anything, I'll think about it and I'll send you a message if I think.
great. Because yeah, we don't really want to have to go that route because
Yeah.
it's long term, and once you're on it, you have to wean off of it, and just we don't want to have to do that if we don't have to, and it's expensive because insurance doesn't pay for it, you know. So okay, cool.
Yeah, that would be
Yep.
my recommendation. And maybe the aminos.
Mm, I
Yeah,
just ordered
some
them.
natural peptides.
Yeah,
Ooh, that might be a good idea.
yeah. Okay, cool. I think you might like that better instead of getting poked. So
See,
yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks. Great question.
Good to see you guys. I'm gonna head up for dinner.
Good to see you.
Mhm.
All
Bye.
right. Bye. Bye. Karen, you had a question. I wanna.
Okay. So alongside your gut mastery, if your issue is cortisol, belly fat, and you're trying to merge the system again, I mean, is it still just liver cleanse, or is it something else that should be done, or is you just have to wait until you're at that layer of the onion when you're ready to do it? I mean, is there something you should be doing in parallel?
Detoxing. Yeah, but we wanna after a certain point, and it can be any point because the journey is individual, but I wanna my goal for every client is to shift them away because it can become a pattern of sourcing your energy from your adrenals, whether, you're just stuck in fight or flight. That's, I guess, what's
Mhm.
happening there. But if we can make our cells accessible to the energy that we can produce there, which is the most sustainable kind of energy from your mitochondria. Um, and I'm talking in very simple terms about how the body works, but we have like different forms of energy, this sort of consistent, like balanced, long-term energy. And then like we get triggered, like we gotta like move fast or, outrun, or whatever. There's a crisis, adrenaline and cortisol. And so most of us are using that, and then our adrenals get drained. And then we're like, we can't even stand up straight sometimes. If you can't get out of bed in the morning, that's often, if you're tired in the morning, that's often a big sign. So, yeah, I think everybody eventually, the switch flips for everybody, like that door opens up, but we can also focus on it. And especially if it's something that's coming up for you consciously, then it's probably something that we'll work on in a sesh, in
Okay.
one session. Um,
Thank you.
thank you guys for coming to this call and hearing about my work and Carrie's experiences with Purium and Stacy and Karen's experiences with it as well. It's changed my life. It's changed my ability to help people because Purium does half of the work by getting our bodies out of inflammation. Our bodies are stuck in inflammation. And that's one of the big reasons we can't open the door to healing. So it's a game changer. And then it takes it as deep as your body needs to go because it provides the nutrients that it naturally needs to heal.
Sarah, thank you so much. So, a couple of things just on the tail end, because there were several who weren't able to be on live today. And their question was about the insulin resistance. And again, like even the insulin resistance and the metabolic state of the body comes back down to the foundational building blocks of healing that gut, right? Because then that's what provides the support to the liver blood sugar connections and everything else that we're hearing and seeing so much about in the world around us and what's happening in the wellness industry. Correct or incorrect?
Yeah. I mean, there's a solution for everything. I mean, we're essentially depleted, so everybody's looking for health solutions. Um, and Purine's been the only company that I've found that is providing true quality, and the quality is the problem. And so they're addressing the problem because everything else, it's just more of the same.
Yeah.
You go buy a shake at the health food store and it's probably full of heavy metals, which is going against what you're trying to accomplish. So getting this out there as a solution for other people is part of activism because there's a component about regenerating, like, the more we create a demand for these foods that are grown in these sustainable regenerative ways, we can save, save the planet.
Yeah.
Well, now, just in response to that, remember I mentioned before this idea of the purple sweet potatoes rutting, raising your, that has been cooked and cooled, raising your butyrate and short chain fatty acid, which is supposed to be a positive for the insulin resistance. I mean, we're kind of trying this a little bit, eating more. We're putting them in our cycle, and we're not eating them every day, but buy a bunch of them. We bake them all together, and then you can have them when you want them. But I
Uric
don't know.
acid is great for healing the leaky gut as well.
You said there was a negative to it, but I don't remember what the negative was.
Oh,
Is
it might be oxalates, right?
Oh, okay. I think that's what you said. Yeah.
Only some people are sensitive to that.
Okay.
Um, yeah, food is the answer. Good food, organic, regeneratively grown. So thank you guys for coming. And so yeah, if you're thinking about this, we'll reach out to you or reach out to one of us, and we will guide you in the right direction.
Thank you, everybody. And to those who may be watching the replay, reach out to us, ask questions. Thank you so much. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Stacy, for showing up, and Karen, you too, for staying through the end. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.